Well, here we are. It's a big season. So season 3 happened. Season 3 began on September 17, 2003 and ended on April 5th, 2004 with 22 episodes. A lot of high school freshmen and sophomores dealing with challenges such as dysfunctional families, sex, homosexuality, homophobia, theft, self harm, domestic violence, abortion, emancipation, and relationships. Every episode is named after a song in the 1980s. So season 3 actually moved from Sundays to Wednesday at 8:30, which was kind of weird in a sense. But I mean, it's amazing. So anyway, after Christmas, it actually moved to Mondays at 8:30. That's weird. The end still had it in the United States. The series was watched by 669,000 viewers in Canada and was the most watched domestic drama series. In the US, it was 250,000 viewers an episode. It won 5 awards from the Directors Guild, the Geminis, and the Young Artist Awards. It was being called groundbreaking, bold, and other genres should take a cue from them. Unfortunately, 2 episodes of that season, accidents will happen. Basically, um, got shelved from the United States. So anyway, the cast was in the most episodes was Spinner with 20 episodes. Paige was in with 19. Jimmy was 17. That's amazing. Spinner got in the most with 20. All right, so the crew and all that. Da da da. So anyway, the perception is that in Canada, the third season was the most much dramatic. It actually increased 44% compared to season 2, like 669,000. The San Jose Mercury News said that if they, meaning everyone, the OC and One Tree Hill, were to be taken seriously, they should take a cue of Degrassi Next Generation. It addresses the same teen issues without being far fetched. Two of season 3's episodes were too honest because of Manny's abortion, being 14 years old and all that. So Holiday won Outstanding Achievement in a Family TV Series. Pride won Best Used Script at the Canadian Screenwriting Awards and Best Direction in a Children's or Youth Program. The series won Best Children's or Youth Fiction Program or Series for the Gemini. All that. So anyway, yeah. In Canada, the 13th episode, This Charming Man, aired before the 2-part Christmas holiday one. Anyway, accidents will happen. Actually, were finally broadcast in August 2006, 3 years after the Canadian program. So anyway, here's Father Figure. The first episodes were called Father Figure. The Simpson Nelson household prepares for the arrival of a new baby when Spike announces she wants to have a home birth, which is unusual. On the first day of the school year, Emma is irritated because people keep calling her Snake's daughter. So she wants to ditch school with Craig to find her real father, Shane McKay. But when she does find him, she's not prepared for what she sees. Meanwhile, Spinner tries to find the perfect gift for Paige for the relationship and gives her a new locker. So anyway, the subplot was kind of cute. That Spinner tried to work a lot of trades and all that. He learned that from Monopoly. Trades for people. Unfortunately, his plan backfires when Raj says that the lockers is just for security reasons. And basically, Spinner's told that everyone has to have their locker back by a certain date or else he's in deep trouble. And Spinner is, of course, upset that Paige doesn't appreciate his efforts. So anyway, Father Figure was a tough one because, Emma was happy that she's going to have a new brother or sister. But she also wants to know about her father because she remembers Shane McKay vaguely. Unfortunately, it wasn't how she remembered it. And basically, Miss Hatzelackles calls her Emma Simpson instead of Emma Nelson. Emma wants to know why why Mr. Simpson changed her last name. but it was just a clerical mistake. That gets even more irritated. And she wants to look for her real father. She wants to know it all. Spike doesn't answer questions about Shane and all that. Although they did tell Spike she's gonna find out eventually. Yeah, I know. So anyway, after researching things, Emma finds out that he's in oh, what is that town? Stovall. That's it, Stovall. So she manages to get Craig to accompany her, and then she finds out that he is in a mental institution because of the accident during Degrassi Junior High season 3. And all that. It was beautifully played by Jonathan Torres. The funny thing is, Jonathan Torrens, I know he was from Trailer Park Boys, but he's the guy on Journal Vision, when I mentioned in one of my other videos about how Degrassi's um, momentum got back after Degrassi High ended in '92. But yeah, Journal Vision was what he got some Degrassi people come through. So anyway, Emma is frustrated with Spike. Spike just wanted to make sure that Emma wasn't too comfortable. But of course, Shane somehow gets to Emma's house and spooks Spike enough that Spike has a baby in the house. But Shane does knit something for Spike and all of them, and Emma learns true family. Anyway, next episode is called "You Got the Look." Sick of being perceived as cute and adorable, Manny tries to change her image, but it causes issues between her, Emma, and JT. Joey tries to get involved with Craig's new band, but it doesn't sit well with everyone. So basically, Manny trying to have a new style change, even though JT is attracted to her. She decides to wear a thong that shows in her clothes. Unfortunately, she's told that the dress code prevents underwear from being shown, so Manny doesn't have any underwear. JT knows what's going on and basically stands up for her. And then Pride comes up in episodes 4 and 5, and we get to meet Jay for the first time. So anyway, the skeletons in Marco's closet are brought to the forefront when Ellie refuses to pretend to be his girlfriend, and Marco falls for Dylan. Spitter is basically angry that Marco blows off a cute girl for his mom's pasta sauce, but Marco admits he's gay and Spitter can't take it. Snake suddenly develops a mystery illness that has spontaneous bleeding and dizziness. In part 2, Spitter tries to cut Marco out of his life, and Marco wonders if he should keep it a secret from everyone else. Until basically he gets beat up by a group of guys who show who his real friends are. Basically, Marco gets beat up going to the Leaf game. Snake finds out he has leukemia in part 2. Gangsta is that Sean starts hanging out with the bad kids at school, which causes problems between him and Emma. Basically, Emma was hoping that Sean would help her out with dealing with Jack, her little brother. Meanwhile, JT spends time with Paige and the popular kids, leaving Toby behind. Toby feels a little jealous that JT is willing to be more popular and leave him alive. That's when we're introduced to Alex, is Gangsta. Should I stay or should I go? Is the 7th episode when Craig and Ashley have an intense relationship because sex is a desire. When she tells him she loves him, Craig has a hard time saying it back and writes her a song instead. Meanwhile, Snake and Joey go out bowling, but they get a surprise from an old friend. Spike basically pushes Snake out the door for this. And it's Wheels. Wheels tells Snake that I know how you feel about being sick and all that. He was sickened by the fact that he killed a kid and temporarily blinded Lucy in that car crash in School's Out, the Degrassi High movie '92. And basically, Neil Hope was a tragic figure. Funny thing is that 5 years after he died, they finally found out. Well, they finally told people about it. That was weird. Anyway, Whisper to a Scream is the 8th episode, and that was when Ellie is under pressure. Her dad is in the army overseas. Her mom starts drinking again, and she tries to work for Caitlin, but unfortunately she has issues, and she starts to cut herself. Terry thinks that Toby is giving her roses, but it's from Rick, who we see is not that good. So anyway, yeah, so Ellie cuts herself and all that. it was kind of controversial. A lot of people said that girls started to cut themselves. But Ellie goes to therapy and doesn't really talk to Miss Sove, but it's a powerful scene. Against all odds, with Sean and Emma breaking up, Emma actually has her sights on Chris. Meanwhile, Manny tries to get closer to Craig. So anyway, I believe this was the episode when you know Emma finds out Chris has eyes on a girlfriend, and Manny says you should go to him, and Emma says that's evil. Of course, Manny and Craig hook up. Well, Emma just couldn't deal with Chris with a girlfriend, so she leaves it alone. They have an argument. Basically, Emma's telling Manny she's such a hypocrite. She tells Emma all this stuff, and then she steals Craig from Ashley's eyes. They basically break up as friends. Never Gonna Give You Up is when Terry is happy to have a new boyfriend. Hazel and Paige are suspicious because she has cuts and bruises. A rivalry develops between Spinner and JT dealing with Paige. Holiday was the Christmas one that you usually don't see in the canon. With Christmas approaching, Craig finds himself losing interest in Ashley while being with Manny. Craig doesn't know what he wants to be with more, who he wants to be more, and sees them both behind each other's back, thinking that it's a risk to have them back. Meanwhile, Joey and Sydney find themselves in serious, but Sydney's jealousy comes out when Joey spends time with Caitlin, who actually has feelings for him. So basically, it wasn't well received about the jealousy and all that. So anyway, this charming man is when Chris and Emma are couple. But basically, Emma's obsessed with bringing Sean and his friends to justice for stealing things. And of course, Chris tells Emma that she does have feelings for Sean because why would she spend so much time dealing with Sean? Anyway, accidents will happen. It deals with Manny's pregnancy. So anyway, Toby tries to help JT. Toby tries to be in the it crowd by helping Jimmy try to change his low math grade. Sadly, though, Toby is found out. Raj actually told Toby, I need you to do something. And then when he finds out that Toby's already in the system, how did you know without me getting all your stuff? So Toby basically got nervous and outs Jimmy too. In part two, Manny and Craig have to decide whether to raise their baby, but they couldn't take care of Jax or Emma's sibling. So basically, Manny realizes she's not ready to be a mother and considers an abortion. Basically, Simpson. Basically, like Emma is unhappy with the abortion thing, obviously because she was the early aborter, and she also had the issue with Snake and Spike having an abortion, but not having it. Emma does accept the fact that Manny's body, her choice, and all that. Although she's opposed to the abortion, she tells Manny she's not really for abortion, but it's her choice too. And Craig wants to have the baby. I think Craig wanted responsibility and all that. Of course, Craig and Ashley break up and all that. Next up is Take on Me. This was the one, the Breakfast Club, that Hazel, Ellie, Jimmy, Toby, and Sean are stuck with Radich in detention for a Saturday, which kind of sucks. I mean, like, you force them in the Saturday detention. Why couldn't you just put them in detention for the week and all that, or even a suspension and all that? So Hazel's in because of her looking at illegal stuff. Ellie's in because perceiving the fact that Ellie has problems with, she keeps skipping class and all that to do with her mother. But I mean, all that. Jimmy and Toby are caught because Toby tried to change Jimmy's grade, and Toby chickened out by telling on Jimmy too. And Sean is there because stealing all the stuff and basically calling Radish names behind his back, all that. Yeah, it's funny and all that. I mean, and Simpson comes back to school after his leukemia is in remission and tells Radish that these are not like cattle. These are students with general feelings. Radish seems to not care about the students. And this is another episode that basically points out how terrible he is. That he can't stop being an 80s style principal. And 80s style principal obviously means that it's students last. It's Personal feelings for students don't matter and all that. But, Radich gets the hint and lets him free. However, they find out that Ellie was recording the whole thing. It does boggle the mind. People said that maybe Radich set her up because, Radich can't be in two places at the same time. Like, Radich can't be there all the time. So I think maybe it was a ploy to get. But since they destroyed the evidence, they couldn't get the evidence, and Radich probably would have been canned. Don't Dream Is Over is the 17th episode. That's when Terry makes her last appearance on the show. Everyone is angry when Terry announces that she's back together with Rick. Terry tries not to take Paige's advice, but when Rick hurts her again, she ends up in the hospital. So basically, this episode was when Rick and Terry bump into each other in trust exercises, and then they find out they want to be back together. I think Terry just wanted to be in a relationship like her friends. And of course, that's when Paige basically tells Rick something. Rick runs off. Terry goes after him. And then Rick hurts Terry again, puts her in a coma. He has blood in his hands. He flees from Spinner and Paige, who basically want answers for what Rick was doing. Spinner finds Rick in his mom's car and says, "What are you doing? She's in the hospital." And he starts to beat him up before his mom comes in and stops the fight. Right. So anyway, yeah. The next episode is Rock and Roll High School. Craig and Ashley's bands go against each other. Ashley basically writes a song denouncing Craig. Craig makes an apology song to win a recording session. So basically, Caitlin gets a crash course in parenting when she has to care for Joey and Angie when Joey injures back, and Angie doesn't make things easy for her. I Want Candy is the next one. Paige and Spinner skip school to visit Terry in the hospital and fight Ashley, who is actually still upset over the Craig situation. Oh, this was the last episode Terry was in. Emma finds Snake's will and panics, thinking that the chemo may have failed and all that. So anyway, yeah, Paige and Spinner basically skip school. But I guess I didn't know it was to visit Terry in the hospital. But anyway, there was a thing that they end up in a restaurant and they find Radich at the same restaurant and flee and all that. Ashley starts to be golf and all that with Craig and all that. Ashley basically is being moody as fuck. Ashley ends up being in a Elvis competition and doing pretty well. And when Emma finds Snake's will and panics, because she was trying to help, she was forced to ghost computers in the lunchroom. So basically, but Snake said just in case, but thankfully the chemo was a success. Emma even beats up Alex, which is funny. Sean's brother, in our house, number 21, Sean's brother gets a job in Alberta, but Sean wants to stay in Toronto and get his education. So he finds out that he can live by himself with student welfare, but his place is a party central. But anyway, yeah, Sean wants to stay in Toronto and get his education. So basically, so he's basically told that his grades have to be up high enough. So he actually ends up doing it. So Sean ends up getting enough good grades to stay on the student welfare thing. And then The Power of Love is the end of year dance. When Jimmy wants it to be perfect with everything, but there's a lot of misfortunes, including having to pay for 2 extra dinners because of Paige and Spinner skipping out on the thing. Sean decides to come clean to Snake about stealing the laptop to get back at Emma for spurning him and all that. He learns he can't get Snake's forgiveness. However, things get better when Sean basically says, "I will help you with your car. I'll do everything, no charge, everything." And Snake and Sean and Snake get a little bit along. Joey actually wants Caitlin to move in with him, but she's going to Los Angeles. Billy Ray Cyrus was the special guest star as a limo driver. That's weird. So anyway, that's all from season 3. So that is pretty impressive and all that. Great season. My season MVP has to be Manny. I mean, Yeah, I know that it could be Spinner and all that, but I don't think Spinner is really an MVP in season three. I think it's Manny, because her abortion storyline was groundbreaking. Having the dates and all that, and of course her and Emma fighting over things. It wasn't really Emma's fault for fighting with Manny. I mean, and yeah, Manny. It was basically Manny just being stupid and all that. Yeah, I think so too. I also wanted to do like the biggest anti-hero in seasons one, two, and three. Well, see, the biggest anti-hero in season one has to be Jimmy because he basically, well, Sean, I would say Sean too because Sean basically hurt both Jimmy and Emma in a way. Season two's anti-hero would definitely be Paige because it seems like Paige basically was trying to get her own agenda done. And season three's biggest scumbag is Craig. I mean, you could say Sean's a big scumbag too, but I think Craig, for what he did to Manny and Ashley, he deserves to be the scumbag. So anyway, that's season three. Season four coming up soon.